Alabama has been facing at least one legal challenge over its violations of the motor voter law, and today we have progress. The state and the Department of Justice have reached a settlement, and here's the result. Alabama will have to integrate voter registration forms into its driver's license applications, train public officials in voter registration protocols, and set up an electronic system to process voter registrations for people seeking driver's licenses. Now, all of that sounds good. We want people to be able to vote. We want to make it as easy as possible to register and to vote. But altogether, all that means is that the state is now going to have to actually comply with the motor voter law. And by the way, in their defense of themselves, the Alabama officials said, oh, it was simply an oversight that we haven't complied. But understand that the law is almost 20 years old. I feel like you could have fit it into your busy schedule by then. Also, bear in mind that this settlement is not related to the story that we covered on the Young Turks about a month ago about Alabama shutting down up to 31 driver's license processing facilities, predominantly in neighborhoods with large African-American populations, which means that if you want to register and you want to vote and you're African-American in Alabama, it just became way harder for you to do that. This doesn't actually apply to that. The alleged NVRA violations, that's the reference to the first case, were separate from the scrutiny of the state, which has a strict photo voter ID law received after closing 31 driver's license offices, many in regions with high percentages of African-American populations. So to comply with the new, completely unnecessary voter ID law of Alabama, it's going to be hard to do that depending on what racial category you fall in. And so considering these two things, the motor voter law, the closing of the licenses, the closing of the offices is obviously the more dangerous of the two attacks on voting rights in that state. And currently, regardless of this settlement, it's uncertain at this point whether the ability of African Americans in Alabama to vote will actually be fixed. But at the very least, the settlement today gives us some hope that if the DOJ does its job, they can force Alabama to do the right thing. And that's my final judgment.